So we are going to use multiple ways to find slope or steepness of a line. So first, when we're finding slope, slope equals, you are often going to see m equals because m stands for slope. So here, when you're given a line to find the slope, you're going to create what we call a slope triangle. This is a right triangle. So here's a point, here's the other point. If you connect those points, that's on the line, but we need to make a right triangle. So I'm going to start at the left point, go up, and then to the right. The reason why I go up first here is because it is rise over run. So I went up 2, and then I went to the right 3. Going up is a positive move, going to the right is a positive move. So my slope is 2 over 3. And because we're working with nice integers here, we are going to leave our slope as a fraction. We are not going to reduce it to a decimal. If you are given decimals, then you can use your slope, or you can convert your slope to a decimal. But here we are given nice integers, and we are going to keep it as a fraction. So again, I'm going to start with my left point, and I'm going to connect or make a slope triangle with the right point. You already have this line right here. So if I start at my left, I go up and then to the right to create my little right triangle. I went up 3, and then I went to the right 5. That gives me a slope. And again, we can say m equals rise over run. I went up and I went to the right. Both are positive moves, so both are positive numbers. You can tell because as you go from left to right, the line increases or it goes up. That is always going to be a positive slope. So here, m equals, as we go from left to right here, my line is going down. So this is going to be a negative slope. So again, I'm starting at the left point, and then I'm going to make a slope triangle to the right point here, but I go down this time, and then I go to the right. Since I went down 1, that means -1, and it's rise over run, so it's -1 over, that's my rise, is -1. And then to the right is a positive move, so 1, 2, 3, 4. I went to the right 4, so that is a positive 4. So my slope is -1/4 here. Letter represents slope, m. And then when given a line, like we were here, slope is rise over run. So you can go up, which is a positive number, or you can go down, which is a negative number. Okay? And then run, if you go to the right, that is a positive, whoops, I guess right, I could have just done that. That is a positive number. Or if you go to the left, then that would be a negative. But if you start at the leftmost point, then you'll always go to the right to find your run. Again, rise over run. Slope can be written as a decimal. This is true. We are not going to typically do that in this class, but you will see slope written as a decimal sometimes. So here, if I start with my rightmost point and I go, or my leftmost point and I go to the right, here's my slope triangle. I always start with that left point. Okay, I make my triangle. I went up 2 to the right 1. So my slope is rise over run, and we always want to simplify the fraction completely. Always simplify the fraction completely. So 2 over 1, let's simplify that to 2. So what is the formula for slope when you're given 2 points? So when you're given 2 points, there's always an x and a y coordinate. There's 1 point, here is 2 points. To determine the difference between the points, we're just going to put a little 1 with our first points, with our first x and our first y. Our second x and our second y gets a little 2 there, just so we know that's our second point. So slope in this case will be change in y, or y2 minus y1. Change in y just means to subtract your y's, over x2 minus x1. That is the the proper formula for finding slope. So here, x1, y1. Again, there's always one x and one y in every single coordinate. Whenever you see parentheses, that means that is a coordinate, and there will be an x and a y. So x2, y2. So if I follow my formula here, my y2 is 4, and I'm going to subtract my y1, which is 2. 4 minus 2. Over, now my x2 minus x1, if I go with how I labeled it, my x2 is 2. I'm going to subtract my x1, which is negative 3. Careful with those negatives. It's always opposite of what's going on. It's because it's minus. Minus means opposite. So when you do minus a negative, that really equals plus a positive. So now I do my subtraction. Okay, so here are my x values right here. 2 minus negative 3. So I get 2 over 5 after subtracting. Now, if you do it the other way, you will still get the same answer. So if I flip my y's, if I do 2 minus 4, okay, I have to flip my x's as well, which means I do x1 minus x2. Either way will work. 2 minus 4 is negative 2. Negative 3 minus 2 is negative 5. Again, we have to simplify this completely. Negative divided by a negative equals a positive. So you see you get the exact same answer. You just have to be careful with, you start with the first y on top, you have to start with the first x on bottom. So here, x1, y1, x2, y2. Again, this is an ordered pair or a coordinate because they're in parentheses. The first number will always be x. The second number will always be y. There's always one x and one y in an ordered pair. So I'm going to do y2 minus y1, or y2 and then opposite of y1, over, and now I'm going to do my x2. Since I started with y2, I have to start with x2, which is 8, minus or opposite of my x1, which is 6. Negative 5 minus 1 is a negative 6, divided by, now 8 minus 6 is 2. This is not simplified. Negative 6 divided by 2 simplifies to negative 3. So my slope in this case would be negative 3. So let's label. Here's my first coordinate or first ordered pair. Remember, there's always one x and one y. Here is my second ordered pair. Remember, an ordered pair always have one x and one y. So my slope, which is m, y2 minus y1 over x2, and then I'm going to do opposite of x1, okay, because minus a negative means opposite. 4 minus 4 is 0. 1 plus 2 is 3. 0 divided by 3 is 0, so my slope equals 0. And remember, 0 is a number, so don't freak out when you get that as a slope. That is okay. So first thing I like to do is label my ordered pairs. Remember, each ordered pair has one x and one y. There's my first one. My second ordered pair, there's an x. Second number is y. Okay. Negative 2. And then I'm going to do opposite my y1. So minus a negative 3 all over x2 opposite of x1. So negative 2 plus 3 is 1. Negative 1 minus 5 is negative 6. So my slope is negative 1/6. So here we do rise over run still. Let's pick a different color because this line is blue. So I can't pick my left dot to go to my right dot because they are vertical of each other. So here, rise over run. So I go up, I rise 2, but then I don't go left or right. So I run 0. In this case, we cannot divide by 0. So when you have a vertical line like this, your slope will be undefined. All vertical lines, all lines that go straight up and down, will always have a slope that is undefined. So let's find the slope of a horizontal line. If I pick any dot on the left and any dot on the right, it's hard to create a slope triangle here because I do not go up or down. So I have 0 rise, but I have a run of 4. 0 divided by 4 is 0. So here, whenever we have a horizontal line, slope will always be 0. So as you can see, when 0 is on the bottom or in my denominator, my slope will be undefined. When 0 is in my numerator, like we saw there and here, my slope will always be 0.